everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to be talking about Four Dead Queens by Astrid Scholte. Amazing book, and if you have not read this, please go do so. It is a standalone, so you don't even need to commit to a series. I was surprised by how much I like this book because it's written... half of it's written in basically first person, the other half not so much. But I enjoyed it. It takes some getting used to for me to read first person, and the book that I'm reading right now, right after this, is also first person. And that one's getting a little difficult, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting used to it. Let's get on with talking about this book. This book is amazing. The ending was so wholesome. I love Carolee, even though she's a criminal. I know you can see my cat's tail. Ignore the tail. Carolee, I love her. She's a criminal. So she's dark. I like it when there's like a darker side to characters. But she's got some good left in her, even though she doesn't think she does. I think she does. And Varen, oh my god, Varen also thinks she does. Oh, those two are so good. So, Carolee's a criminal. She's like 16, 17? Yeah, and her best friend, Maciel, is a kind of like crime boss, but he has his dippers steal from other people, and then he sells them off in an auction house. So he's like the boss of all the thieves in this place. And my favorite thing is that this world, Quadara, whatever, has four separate sort of nations put together. And there's Eonia, the unfeeling, focused on technology and stuff and progression. There's Arkia, which is basically your hardworking and pumping out all of the produce and stuff for the other nations, and nothing is not like hand done. And then there's Toria, wants to know everything. And then there is Ludia, which is basically party all the time. Basically. Art, parties, all of this stuff. And yeah, it took some getting used to on that front. Because there's things that you're not allowed to do if you're from certain quadrants, and it's really confusing to me sometimes, but you know, it gets there. Like Carolee, I love her. Varen, I also love him. I was so sad to hear that his death date was 30. Like, no. Just because he's going blind of a rare genetic disorder. Rare genetic condition. I love him. He's so awesome. He loves to paint, even though he's an Eonist. And he can feel. I love him. I love him so much. Like, I want Varen to be real. But yeah, Varen, I love him. I love that he keeps trying to see the good in Carolee, and I love that they end up together at the end, even after all this hardship, because Carolee is controlled and forgets that is controlled in such a way that she murders the four, well, almost all four. She murders three of the queens, almost succeeds with the fourth, but Hydra saves her, which is this thing. It's just diluted blood from a person who couldn't get sick or anything because genetic alterations, but it was never able to be repeated. There's only like 20 more doses, but who cares? So we have Queen Marguerite, Taurian Queen. We have Cora, the Aeonis Queen, who, despite all the queenly laws, did not grow up in her quadrant, but so she feels more than a traditional Aeonist. Stessa, young queen of Ludia, and Queen Iris, the first queen that dies, and she is the queen of Archaea. Now, Iris didn't get a whole lot with her, so I don't have much feelings for her, but she was by the stands of everyone else, she was a good queen. And Cora and her were in a relationship, even though they're not supposed to because queenly law. It was so nice. It was nice to have that kind of relationship in the nonchalant way. But it was nice to hear all of it. And Cora and Iris. Cora's pain throughout this entire book. I just wanted her to like die so she could be with Iris if you believe in the afterlife. So she could be with her. Because like the pain. But she was only the third to die. Stessa, I found her very childish. Granted, she's 16. So Stessa, I didn't really like her. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Then we got Marguerite. Marguerite is the interesting one because she hid the fact that she had a child, a daughter, who would have taken the throne. But she hid that, and that started this whole thing off. Because her daughter, whose name was Arabella, wanted the throne. She wanted it. But dear Marguerite didn't want the royal life for her daughter. Didn't want it. No, she wanted a better life for her. Of course, that also ended up in her sister queens being slaughtered by the perfect assassin Carolee, who didn't know what she was doing. So yeah, Arabella, childish, selfish, just a shit person. So yeah, I didn't like her at all. And the fact that she was in league with Machiel, didn't like that either, because Machiel's such a fucking asshole that I just can't with him. He's too much. It's just, I want to strangle him. The fact that he doesn't have a fucking death sentence kind of annoys me, but I guess you can't do that. I guess. But yeah, the reason Carolee was able to be controlled was these conchips, which aren't like normal conchips. They can like control the person by giving them this certain memory, and then they just carry it out like a murder scene. But yeah, in the beginning, the fact that Carolee cares so much about her family, even though she drove the boat into a cliff, injured her father, put him in a coma, and but the fact that he's out of a coma at the end, the ending is just so wholesome, and I love it. And and that's all I have written here, and that's all I have really to talk about, because this book, it was a good book. Yes? Would you like down? Would you like down? Me? No? Anyways. But, yeah, I love this book. I love the relationship between Carolee and Varen. I love that this whole book she's trying to figure out how to save her father from dying of this coma that she put him in. And the fact that she's claustrophobic after that incident with her father is just so great. It shows that after certain incidents, you can have these fears, and frankly, I don't think a lot of books show that. Like, for Carolee, it's more like a sort of like a PTSD thing, because it happened during a traumatic time, and closed spaces kind of just bring out those memories, so it's really just PTSD, and I love it. I don't see that in many books, and honestly, it's nice to see it in books. But I was actually scared that this book was not going to end very well, because Carolee was in prison, Varen hated her, Macula was gloating, Arabella was queen, all this stuff. But Carolee, being the resourceful girl she is, managed to save herself. Also, the inspector is creepy. The inspector creeped the fuck out of me, because I'm just imagining his fingers that are just like this long, extra joints, and the fact that his fingers don't have nails. Ugh. But he's a good man. He may look weird, but he's a good man. He's a good economist, and I love it. But yeah, that's it to talk about for this book. Honestly, this book was amazing, and I loved it, and I'm actually disappointed I didn't read it sooner, because I've had this book since June, and it is now October. I just read it. What am I thinking? But yeah, that's it for this book talk, and I don't know when I'm gonna be reading Between Burning Worlds. I'm taking a break from it because of all the French terms. My brain just can't. I'm actually waiting for my Audible to go through again so I get a credit for it, so I can just listen to the audiobook again, because there's no way I'm getting used to that. Honestly, it's hard to get standalones right, and that's why I read so few of them. But I'm honestly really glad for this, and can't. And yeah, that's it for this video. But yeah, so again, subscribe if you want, and ring that bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new video, because there's no guarantee when I'm gonna upload. I'm not setting a schedule, because like with work, balancing work, writing, it's just too much, so I'm just doing it whenever I can. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a fabulous day, night. For me, it's night. I'm going to bed soon, so maybe 2 hours probably. But yeah. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.